We need to infuse compassion, empathy, and unity back into our WSU community, and that healing process needs to begin immediately.
WSU Athletic Director Pat Chun says it's time to move on after yesterday's high-profile termination of head football coach Nick Rolovich. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us on Crumpton News First at 4. I'm Tom Sherry.
We're glad you're here. I'm Whitney Ward. So the fallout continues today after that controversial move, but university leaders say they stand by their decision after Rolovich, as well as 4 other assistant coaches, refused to get vaccinated against COVID-19, and that's despite the governor's mandate for all state employees.
So now we turn to who takes Rolovich's place. Sports Director Brenna Green joins us now as she got to speak with the new interim head coach, Jake Dickert, today. Brenna?
Yeah, Dickert today hammered it home time and again. His main concern right now is for his players and supporting them through this difficult time. Obviously, a lot of them upset with yesterday's decision to fire Rolovich, and they are still working through that grieving process. Dickert said today that there is no sense of relief around this team for that decision. He called on fans in particular to support his players through this time, and especially on Saturday.
I think this is a great day for perspective. You know, I hope everyone can take a step back and look at the big picture and focus on the people that are greatly changed by yesterday, and that's our student athletes. I'm a firm believer that adversity is life's greatest teacher. And that's what I praise to our guys and I preach to our guys. And I think this is going to be another challenge for our guys to continue to learn and grow. But just out there, Washington State faithful, you know, I know sometimes people are mad, but if you're mad, I hope you're so mad you're willing to help and support our players. Okay, and if you think today is a day for celebration, I hope you're willing to show up on Saturday and celebrate for our guys. And let's come together because I believe they deserve this.
Dickert also noted today that it'll be a mixture of internal and external candidates who will fill the remaining 4 assistant coaching positions. He's hoping to have all of those coaches in place by the BYU game on Saturday. Tonight at 5, we'll hear from Dickert on what his message was to his team yesterday and today, including a cool anecdote from practice. Back to you.
Certainly going to be interesting. Brenna, one of the things that actually caught our eye yesterday, we talked about that tweet that Dickert had. It's his pinned tweet there at the top. It's the picture of him getting his second shot, I think. We talked about that a little bit, and that isn't what we were going to talk about. If we can bring up that picture, it shows the tweet, and it also talks about him thinking that this was kind of a bigger moment than just, an individual moment. There it is right here. Talking about this, his second shot was complete. What do you make of that, Brenna, and this tweet? It almost has a sense of foreshadowing in some ways.
Yeah, it definitely does. Today I asked him about that tweet. He said that he got vaccinated because he wanted to help his players any way he could, and that meant that he needed to get vaccinated so that other fans could get vaccinated to get inside of Martin Stadium. He wanted to have fans in the stands, and at that point he just didn't know. So that getting vaccinated for him was him supporting his players and showing them that he was going to do whatever it took in order to get fans back in the stands cheering on that team.
So, Brent, a couple of questions may or may not know the answer to. Do we know if he actually did get the exemption and then was not able to be accommodated? And the other question is, do we know if he had a chance to address his team before he left?
Yeah, so the first question there are employee privacy rules, so therefore nobody can really go on the record right now and say whether or not his exemption got approved or denied. That makes a lot of sense. Secondly, we're kind of unsure right now if he was given the option or not to speak to his team before we left. We do know that he immediately left and did not speak to them, but Chun was asked to kind of clarify that today because he said yesterday that he was not, that Rolovich immediately left after he got the news, and he didn't really seem to clarify that much, so we're still unsure if he was given that option or not.
A lot of questions remain, Brenna. Thank you very much. And we know this is a lot of information to take in. So for more on kind of the timeline of Nick Rolovich's ultimate firing and next steps for WSU, we have a whole section devoted to this on our website. You can also just text the word Rolo to 509-448-2000 and we'll send you a link to our web article with even more things on all things WSU football. In the meantime, over 100 Washington State Patrol workers did not show up to work this morning after being let go from their jobs over the state's vaccine mandate.
Nicole Hernandez talked to a man who is now at home jobless after almost 11 years of service.
Yeah, that's right. And he's really not the only one. So I want to break down the numbers for you guys about this vaccine mandate, in particular with WSP. So Washington State Patrol has a total of 2,200 employees. We know 127 of them left Washington State Patrol. 74 of those were commissioned officers and 53 were civilian employees. So one of those employees, specifically an officer, was former Detective Jordan. He turned in his badge yesterday after 11 years of service. He asked not to be on camera as he figures out what's next for his family, but we did talk over the phone.
My biggest fear is not my job or my livelihood, but putting food on my kids' table at this point.
So Washington State Patrol says they are going to be able to move resources around to cover the amount of people leaving. They said the shortage will not affect the services the public sees. Coming up at 5, I'm breaking down how the process worked, and we hear more from Jordan, who left his job. In the newsroom, I'm Nicole Hernandez.
All right, Nicole, thank you very much. All right, on a much lighter note, something else that we have been tracking, Tom's Turkey Drive. The T-shirt contest is officially wrapped up, and so now, of course, is the hard part.
Well, yeah, it is the hard part, judging them, right?
Yeah.
Numerica is in charge of Numerica Credit Union, in charge of judging all those drawings. It's really tough to pick them as we receive dozens and dozens of entries from really talented area kids. So the winning entry is going to be picked. That is picked will be featured on the Tom's Turkey Drive T-shirts, which will be worn all by the folks at Rosars to promote the big turkey drive. So earlier today, I had the pleasure to talk with the head of Numerica about the contest and the cause. Well, this is very exciting. Here we are with Carla Cicero, the president and CEO of Numerica Credit Union, longtime supporter of Tom's Turkey Drive. We could not do it without you. And right now, you are busy bees because we see all of these Tom's Turkey Drive t-shirt pictures coming in for the t-shirt contest.
Yes.
And I am so thankful that I'm not the one that has to judge these. We're leaving this up to Numerica. And well, first of all, how are you getting a lot of entries?
We are getting tons of entries. They're actually coming from schools this year, which is different. And so we have so many, we're uploading them still. And we have a team of people working on that as well as getting ready to judge as soon as we get all of the entries uploaded. And you can imagine how difficult it is, right? They're all so adorable.
And we never knew that this was going to turn into this big thing where these, because the pictures, the original pictures are put on all the volunteer t-shirts, hundreds and hundreds of them. And they've now become these coveted shirts that all the volunteers want, and it's all because of these fabulous local artist pictures from the kids.
Absolutely.
So Carla, do we have any idea when we're going to have you're finally going to be able to pick a winner?
We're hoping this week.
Okay, well, I don't envy you, but you at home, you'll want to see probably the second most coveted t-shirt after a Bloomsday t-shirt.
Absolutely.
Well, the judging, as you heard, is going to take a few days. We'll release the winning entry on November 1st.
Hard to believe, we're now on the tail end of October.
I know.
And then it's like all hands on deck to get this thing ready. I mean, obviously it takes an army to make it happen.
Yeah, we actually start the drive now on November 1 because we're still in this COVID situation. We can't have that, major 2-day event with all the bodies together. So we're going to hope for everybody's support. Last year was very successful during a pandemic.
I know, it's incredible.
So we're hoping for not to have that sophomore slump this year. But we think so far enthusiasm has been high.
This community has a tendency to just rise to the challenge, I think.
And unfortunately, we talked to Second Harvest, and they said they were already getting, close to the 11,000 requests for dinners. So
wow.
Do our best.
You know what else I noticed there in that video that you were you were out in the beautiful, you got the chance to get out on this last beautiful day before things change tomorrow, right?
And Tom Sherry is solar powered, I'm telling you. Great day. And, we talk about how October is the start of our wet season. We get that beneficial precipitation, and it's all going to begin starting tomorrow. So we're really enjoying this. As you can see, we're at 65 degrees right now. And once again, again, the wind not a problem out of the northeast at 5 miles per hour. We'll look for partly cloudy skies overnight with a low of 44. Look for increasing clouds tomorrow with a few scattered rain showers at times. Daytime high of 61. More rain on Saturday into Sunday. Daytime highs dropping down into the mid-50s, which is about the average high for this time of year. We've got more rain on track for Friday as well. I'll check your 7-day forecast coming up in about 10 minutes.
Sounds good, Tom. Thank you very much. Well, police responded to 3 different shootings over this last weekend, one of which was deadly. When we come back after the break, we've got updates on at least one suspect now being held on $1 million bond.